The National Association of the Deaf, known as the NAD, along with a different group called the Registry of Interpreters for the Deaf, known as the RID, are two groups that make up the interpreting profession. Formerly known as the Code of Ethics, is now known as the Code of Professional Conduct, or the CPC. This includes three major categories. The first one is called the Seven Tenets. The second one is called the Guiding Principles. And the third is the Illustrative Behavior. The Code of Conduct is a general understanding of how the interpreting profession should follow rules. There are specific topics that then have paragraphs to explain generally what is right and what is wrong within the profession. It does not have exact examples of how behavior should look like. However, it is meant for interpreters to look at these lists and see what they might need help or clarification on. For more specific questions, you can contact the RID. The CPC is a general professional conduct that applies to legal interpreting, educational interpreting, or medical interpreting, but is not specifically for these three majors of professions in interpreting, but rather just generally. The deaf community includes language and cultural differences, so in order to create effective access, it is important for the interpreter to be competent, and all deaf people have the rights to access the best interpreters. The CPC sets up a goal of how interpreters should act. This goal is for the interpreters to create correct access for deaf women, men, children, and all of the deaf community within America. The voting protocol for the RID in specific is that the RID will send out a letter in a ballot as well as the NAD, and these NAD and RID members are able to look at this ballot and vote for what they like. July 1st, 2005 is when the Code of Professional Conduct was officially approved. However, it is important to understand that the Code of Professional Conduct is not set in stone. There can be modifications made. When this happens, the RID or the NAD will send out another letter showing that they may want to make some changes. Members do not need to vote, however, they are encouraged. Members are encouraged to read the ballot, input their opinions, and then send it to the NAD or RID. Overall, this must follow the RID ethical practices system. The NAD protocol must follow the RID protocol. Overall, the CPC is for interpreters to think about their work and help guide their decisions in the past, their past decisions, their present decisions, as well as their future decisions. The CPC includes confidentiality, linguistic principles, as well as ethical habits. This is for interpreters to make the correct choices. However, another reason is to prevent interpreters from making errors or making wrong decisions. The word interpreter is to represent the profession itself. An interpreter must be educated, have the capability and experiences to be a sufficient interpreter.